Defects and problems and trouble, oh my! Automotive fiascos are this week's topic as we focus on the 5 biggest vehicular recalls in American history. This is the short list. Well, hello again. Now, as I just mentioned, we are honing in on the 5 largest automotive recalls in American history, at least according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. From defective switches to faulty suspension components, there is a lot to cover. Anyway, kicking things off, here is the 5th largest callback. It involves General Motors and more than 5.8 million vehicles. Back in Detroit's dark ages, the company had to make corrective repairs on their 1978 to 81 A-body cars, models like the Buick Century and Pontiac Grand Prix. Some of these autos had defective suspension bolts which could fracture, causing the rear control arms to collapse like the stock market on Black Tuesday. But much more recently than this, GM found itself in scalding hot water over a problem with keys. Their Epic ignition recall affected around 5.9 million vehicles from divisions including Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile. You see, too much weight on the key ring could cause the switch to inadvertently shut off, leading to a loss of engine power, vehicle control, and even airbag functionality. And that is a triple threat of awful, with unfortunately deadly consequences. Moving on, the number 3 biggest automotive recall in American history involved nearly 6.7 million cars and trucks. Between 1965 and 1970, General Motors had a problem with motor mounts. You know, it's hard to believe such simple parts could cause so much trouble, but they did. You see, it turns out defective examples could break unexpectedly, and while driving, this would cause the vehicle's engine to actually move, which potentially altered the throttle linkage geometry, and this, in turn, could cause the car or truck to move unexpectedly. And you thought unintended acceleration was a new thing. Hardly. They invented it decades ago. Now I have a question for you. Is it worse if an ignition switch turns itself off or bursts into flames? Well, you can have your choice with either GM or Ford. The Blue Oval brand seems to have an unfortunate history with fire, be it cruise control components, Pinto gas tanks, or in this case, switches. About 2 decades ago, the company recalled a whopping 7.9 million cars, trucks, and sport utility vehicles built between 1988 and 1993. Now, they did this to correct potentially shorted out ignition switches that could overheat, smoke, or even burst into flames. And now we come to the largest automotive recall in American history, and it has nothing to do with peeling paint or leaky door seals. This is a real safety issue, so I hope you're all looking up, people. Let's pay attention, all right? Are you laughing at it? Get out. Out! I don't know how you got in here anyway. You're still on probation.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Well, what about a Lincoln or Mercury?
At the sign of the cat.
Once again, this Dearborn-based automaker ends up with an omelet's worth of egg on its face. In 1981, they had to call back an almost unfathomable 21 million cars and trucks from all 3 of its divisions. Now, this action corrected a transmission issue that could cause a vehicle to roll away, even though its gear selector appeared to be in park. Now, one reason this recall affected so many vehicles is that the model year range spanned a decade, from 1970 to 1980. Yikes. And that brings us to the end of this list, but you may be wondering why we didn't include anything about the ongoing Takata airbag recall, which affects some 19 million vehicles. Well, truth be told, those are spread across about a dozen different manufacturers, so any single callback wouldn't necessarily be as large as the ones that we've covered here. And of course, it is a similar story with the ongoing Volkswagen emissions situation. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and we will see you again really soon. We are done here today, but I want you to go back and check out the previous shortlist that we did. It's actually the top 10 sexist cars that are available on the market. What's that? What do you want? Oh, you think I said sexist? It's the top 10 sexiest cars. I think the tape will agree, Kathy. I don't know why I need to listen to you, but anyway, top 10 sexiest cars on the market today. It's the previous short list. Highly recommend it. It's on our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/AutoGuide. That's where you can get all of our latest content. It's super easy. You can even subscribe that way. Just click on this link, and that way you never miss any of the latest vehicle reviews or the best auto show coverage in the business. Do yourself a favor, subscribe. I'm a subscriber. You should too.